Hello everyone, welcome back to some more Misfits Racing. Today we have a race full of pack action in the beautiful desert of Bahrain. I'm here with my co-commentator Bito, and we're ready to
Hello.
start the the fifth race? No, fourth race now of MRL. We're finally starting season 6, and things were looking good coming from these past races from tier 2, tier 3, and of course the American tier 2 as well. What do you think, Bito, with all the action we've seen so far? What do you expect coming out from these races?
Well, Bahrain is always a very good track for racing. A lot of overtakes can be done on this track. It's 15 corners and a lap that is not so long, but it's like a probably average time lap. So it's really good for racing, as I said, with those three DRS zones and the main straight at the exit of turn 3 to make the overtake work, and as well on the back straight of 10 and 11, probably a little bit shorter, but as well you can overtake there. Traction zones as well will be very important, as the difference between sires will be really, you can be noticing that on the pit stop. So I think we'll see good racing today.
Yeah, I can't wait for what's gonna happen next. Let's take a look at the standings. Let's see who we have joining us for here today. So look at the standings. We can see the top standings here right now is the Mercedes team with Ave and McBlurk. I've seen Ave with really good times in time trials, but can he replicate that in race time? We have Drake Dempsey, Augustin Torlachi in the Red Bull seats. We have Janov Dovzan and Bestmate in the Ferrari, as well as Eruption and Kai in the McLaren seats. Jeffrey, Richie, and Mark, those two drivers I've definitely seen practicing hard for this race as well. We have Taz F1 and Luis in the AlphaTauri, Canyon King, Yakao in the Aston Martin. We have Yare and Angel Arias in the Williams, Vincent Nyquist and Joe in the Alfa Romeo, and lastly but not least is Brain Stew and Noel Carmen. Noel Carmen was the runner-up for the Tier 2 champion, as well as Joe being the Tier 2 champion as well, joining us for Tier 1. If you're going over to look at the calendar, we see that we have a wide range of tracks coming on for this season. We are starting off with Bahrain, of course, for today, as well as tomorrow we have Saudi Arabia, so going desert to desert. We'll see Saudi Arabia, especially being a new track. It's going to be a tricky track for these drivers to practice on, but of course we're going to bring a lot of action coming for these upcoming broadcasts, as well as we have new tracks, Imola and Portugal as well on this calendar. So can't wait to see those. It's going to be a fresher breath of air, to be honest, to see what kind of action will bring to us. Going over to the track map, as we can see, there are 3 sectors, of course, 3 DRS zones actually. It's 15 turns in total, so a lot of long straights as well as some chicanes and turns to bring some good overtaking possibilities. The tire strategy here is usually soft, medium, soft, hard. If you're starting in the back, which is P11 to P20, the track strategy is usually to go medium, softs. But with safety cars imminent, you never know. As we saw last time, there was about 2 safety cars, especially one late one, which mixed up the bunch. So we'll see coming on to this race as everyone's loading up. So with Bito, as we saw in the calendar, there's a lot of new tracks. What do you think about the new additions?
I think it's a very good calendar. A lot of racing that will be really good, especially on Saudi Arabia. I was the first one to think that that track was not going to work for racing, but it was too fast. But we saw on real life and as well on some races that it can be really good with those DRS zones. And I'm looking forward to see those ones next week. Sorry.
Yeah, of course, we saw in real life that there was a lot of action. As well, we had a endurance race for Emerald League not so long ago. We had Nicholas Longate, the esports driver, to join us as well. So, yeah, we'll see what kind of action it brings. We are now loading into qualifying, where we can see these drivers pull off. Do you think we're going to see a lot of drivers putting on mediums for the first banker lap, or we'll see everyone pushing out softs? What do you think?
I mean, probably these drivers want to keep a set of softs reserved for the race. There's a safety car, they can put a new set. So probably yes, 3 laps on this qualifying, 18 minutes. one with the mediums and probably two with the softs to try to go for the best position. So right now, waiting for only one driver to start this qualifying.
And then
It
we can
was,
get
I
underway.
think, it was last pole position tier 2. I think it was 25.6 from Wisp.
I believe it was 25.6, yeah. And it was pretty close from the top 10, to be honest. We'll see how close the grids will be here in Tier 1. There's a lot of fast drivers here. So we'll see what kind of times will be put in as we now head over to the race. And hopefully it will come up. Give it a moment to load.
Drivers already loading in. We have them, two drivers, oh, actually 4 drivers choosing already the medium tires.
Alright.
So
looks like it's on the screen right now, yes. But
yes, it is.
F1 is acting up a little bit with no sound. Give me 1 second to
Fix it. I will be talking now because we have the first drivers exiting this pit lane. We have Joe Yaxiel and the outlap with the Alfa Romeo, and with the softs, a lot of drivers, but as well 4, 5, 6 drivers on those mediums. This Dovsban on the Ferrari, Drake Dempsey on the Red Bull. Both passes Noel Carman and Brain Steel, Candy King on the Aston Martin, and Luis as well with those mediums. Still on the pit lane, those 3 last drivers that I mentioned, but they selected that tire, so it's really interesting as we were talking about that they will be doing that first lap probably on the Yellow Wall compound.
yeah, it's definitely smart to save a soft as track evolution is pretty high here. We won't see good times, maybe around a 26, or if you're really quick, you can see a 25.9. But saving a soft, especially if there's safety cars, that's pretty smart strategy for some of these drivers. So how many drivers do we have on mediums? We have about 7 drivers, I believe, on mediums. So we'll see what kind of lap times they will start around. Time predictions, Bito?
I think pole position will be 25.3, probably by Jeffrey Ritchie or Brain Steel.
25.3, yeah, we can see. We'll see 25.3. What was it last time? Tier 2 pole was 25.6. So let's see how fast these drivers can do. So starting off with Yaxiel or Joe in the standings. He's starting the lap, the first car to be out on track. Going to turn 3, going to turn 4. DRS open. Make sure you transfer a lot of speed going through these turns here, as well as you can clip these curbs here actually to get a better turn in like there. Going to this turn now, heavy braking zone. Coming up to this next turn. This is an incline downward, so it's easy to lock up here. And I know Yaxiel is not doing any assist. Locks up a little bit, but makes sure he does go through the corner. Going to the second DRS straight right now. And looking like he's setting some fast times. Of course, this is the banker lap. Everyone's saying the laps right now. Going to screen, hitting that curve to get back exit, shifting up to
Dangerous. 5. Almost there. I'm really scared when I put the car there because it seems like the car is going to spin. But he kept it steady.
And I'm sure everyone has spun around that corner at least once if you hit that curve. He's going wide to get that better exit. Went on to gear 4. Some drivers like in gear 3. Oh, it's a hair away from invalidating that track. Let's see the first time to be put. It's a 26.0. That's not a bad lap time for a banker, not gonna lie.
Not bad at all. Now it seems like Dovsban is going to cross the line. 27.1 with the mediums. It's 1 second off. Drake Dempsey 2 tenths behind the other medium runner. His teammate meanwhile doing a 26.2. 2 tenths off provisional pole on his debut.
Not bad for a banker lap. It's really good coming from Yaxiel. We can see later on how fast his lap time can be going on through this qualifying. As we have
now,
some drivers still going on their outlap. I know we have Noah Carmen, I believe, is in a
crossing
lap.
the line.
And there you go, P7 from him.
We have as well Candy King and Eruption. Candy King now will be finishing that lap with the Aston Martin, opening the DRS 27.7. It's not the last driver with the mediums on that tower, but it's still very tight between him and Drake Dempsey. But I think they will be changing to the other compound. Now Eruption as well flying on turn 8, exiting that corner. A little bit of traffic at the exit of that one. Yellow flags were shown at that section of the track. Now Eruption putting the traction down on 4th gear, opening DRS, utilizing that curb on the outside line. Pretty interesting. Now to turn 11 as well, putting the car a little bit on the inside to being able to rotate a little bit better. Turn 12, really difficult on race with a lot of fuel and tire wear. Can be really easy to spin. Now utilizing the exit of turn 13 into the last corner, the last braking zone of this track, braking around 70 meters. Turning in for the last corner, trying to carry all the speed to the main straight. He will be opening DRS, we'll see what it is. 25.7. And it's pole position. What a banker.
What a banker. Wow, good lap from the McLaren boys, P1 and P4. As we have more drivers coming in right now, I believe Jeffrey is also in a lap, going through sector. This finished sector 2 has purple sector 1 so far. Drivers going out their way. Jackie C puts a 25.7. You can see how close the times are already.
Amazing. I was on board with him. Good corner, good last corner. And then he sets that provisional pole. I think it was Harlan Marquez there on the Alpine, crossing in P5, 26.1. Really close with Vincent.
And that's what we like to see. These close times just means that everyone's just close to pace. They need to put in that good lap. And I believe qualifying is really important, but if you can get that good start, get that amazing turn 1, then you can see yourself in positions. As you saw Remco in tier 2, he gained 4 positions in the starts. As you see Richie setting purple sector 2 as well. How will we do in this final turn? You see transfer low speed, gear 4, point up to gear 5.
I think can be a 0.6.
Yeah, that's purple sectors all around the board. That's a 25.7. What a lap from Richie. It starts purple sector all across the board.
Another good lap, yeah. 3 bankers on the 0.7. We'll see now Macberg on the Mercedes. His teammate yet to set a lap on last place. We'll see Macberg jumping into P4. Really close times right now on this tower, as I think there were drivers. I think Angel Arias as well set a lap with the mediums. Just 10 milliseconds ahead of Taz. And a 10th ahead of Drake Dempsey with the same compound. Now some drivers changing to the softs, and we'll see what they can do.
Yeah, everyone's going back to the softs now as everyone's hurling to come back into the pits. I believe everyone's done with their first laps, and some people are going out for their out laps.
Avi invalidating his lap as well. You won't be happy to have used that set of softs without any benefit. A lot of drivers on their out lap. We'll see when they set a lap and which is the condition of the track. I think Yaxiol, the first driver who set a lap on qualifying today, will be setting his second one now, preparing on last corner with the Alfa Romeo. Beautiful livery for this car. He will be opening now DRS, and we'll see how he does.
See, as crosses the line to start his lap. There are some yellow flags, but I'm sure these drivers can move out the way for this fast driver. Going to turn 1, heavy braking zone, keeping up to gear 3, up shifting to gear 4 for that traction. It was looking a bit squirmy going around that corner, but still a good traction coming off that turn. Going to turn 4, make sure you transfer a lot of speed, not that bad of a braking zone. As well as here, you can use these curves to kind of tilt yourself and go flat around in the corner. You see there, you touch that curve to go flat into the corner. Another braking zone, make sure you don't lock up as we go into another heavy braking zone, a down incline plane, to see to really test these drivers if they don't lock up their drivers. Make sure they keep the settings right. You hear a lot of locking of the wheel sounds, but still looking good so far. I believe he is up on his time. Drivers move out the way. Down to gear 4 or gear 5 you like. Gear 5 for that extra traction. Make sure you don't touch this curve because it's very easy to spin out here.
Really close. It's improving.
Purple sector in that second one. Can he get his car into a pole? But it looks like it's going to be a pretty close one. He's looking to set himself up in the top 3 at least. Make sure you get that nice exit. does use all the track, and let's see what time it is.
Gonna be good. Before.
He does improve by 1 position, but 25.8 is still a good time, not gonna lie.
Now Kai as well on last turn. We'll see. He was improving, I think, 210, so probably jumping into P6. We'll see what he can do. Now it's 25.9. Yes, P6 for the McLaren driver. His teammate not so far ahead on P3. We'll be starting a lap soon. There's eruption.
Well, there you go. We have Luis still on his mediums. Interestingly, I think he's going back into the pits now.
No fuel for him.
Yes, yeah, there he goes, back into the pits. Most of these drivers are right now going for the laps. Everyone's on their out lap at least, or is doing the lap. We're here with Yana Dovzan, setting purple sectors as well. He is 1 second up on his time. He is off track, but it's not invalid though.
He lost time. I think he understeered a lot there on that corner. I don't know if he overhit of those tires, but it looked really, really slow, and well, the car was just going away. We'll see if he will be improving, because his last try was with a medium, and well, that's a very good lap with that mistake.
Surprised it didn't invalidate there, but you know, F1 is esports ready game. So as we go on to the next cars, let's see who is starting a lap. I believe Richie is just about to start his lap. The pole sitter, provisional pole sitter, about to start his lap.
Eruption will be ending 1. He's now entering sector 3. We'll see if he's improving there. Yes, 1/10.5. So that can be provisional pole position at the moment. A lot of traffic on sector 3, but they are all aware that this McLaren is flying. We'll see if he can finish it in good fit. Now last corner, probably a little bit too much of curb. I don't know about that, but now Eruption, I think he will be improving. That time it's a 25.7. Did he invalid? No, there he goes. It's 0.5.
25.5. What a lap from Eruption. Definitely the fastest time I've seen so far in F1. I know some drivers can reach to unbelievable times as 25.4 or 3, but what a lap from Eruption.
Prince still on the main straight, opening DRS. He's improving a lot. We'll see where he lands. There we go. It's P2 for the Italian driver. Not even a 10th between the top two, as Jeffrey as well. I think he aborted. No, he's still on the lap. They're on turn 11. We'll see if he can take an improvement from that sector 2.
Yeah, let's see. He's running up the second sector right now. Let's see how much it boosts by 39 milliseconds, but that's still good enough for purple sector. Looked a bit squirming coming up that corner, but he's running up the last turn. If he can get a good exit here, I'm sure he can definitely improve on his time, or even be brain stew. Using all the track possible, you can see that these drivers. Avi sets 25.5. Can Richie beat it? No, he does improve on his time, but it's not enough to beat brain stew, as Avi sets his car into provisional pole with a 25.5.
What a lap. Now Jack Gag finishing his lap. He's on P5 currently. We'll see if he was improving. I think just by a tiny margin. Now opening the DRS, the Aston Martin, where he will land. It's P3 for him, and it's the same time as brain stew.
Wow, look at that. That's the same time as brain stew. It's those occasions are definitely rare to see, actually.
Amazing. The thing is, brain stew should be ahead. He set the lap time before. We'll see if they can improve it on the last attempt. 4 minutes and a half to go, almost. A little bit more probably for the drivers, as Harlem as well crossed the line to set at 25.8 on that Alpine. Both Alpines on the top 10.
Yeah, look at that. Alpine is looking really good right now. If Richie can improve on his time as well as Harlem, these drivers can definitely aid each other to put their cars in a very good position for the race. As well as we have Eruption. He is setting good laps across the board. As you know, Bahrain is a track specifically that is tailored for controller users, as it's a traction reliance track. But that doesn't stop for wheel users to, of course, improve times. But we can see strong times coming off of controller users, as everyone is going back into their pits right now.
We'll see what happens on Saudi Arabia, because it seems like it's just the opposite. So probably some drivers that you can see now on the top might be falling a little bit down the order on the next round. We'll see where they will land. Now Eruption, I think, exiting the pits for his last attempt. and it's very good to do the lap early because you can have a clear track, and as well you have your in lap and you can save those tires instead of your AI controlling them and well probably having more tire wear for the beginning of the race. And it's a critical track for tire wear. You really need to have the minimal on those softs to do soft mediums if they are trying to do that. I think they are, and you really need to be the lowest you can on tire wear in order to have better traction out of those zones like turn 4, turn 10, or last corner.
Yeah, the tire degradation is very high in this track. So spending a lot of laps on your tires is definitely going to affect your race. I know there's a strat of leaving qualifying to have 2 laps of time, and as well as doing 1 lap and then saving your tires to go back inside to the pits, and saving your tires as much as you can in formation lap and going for the soft and medium strat. That's if you want to win the race, if you want to get into those good times. I know that strategy is definitely for the drivers that want to risk a little bit with the tire wear. We have most of these drivers right now going out for the last lap of qualifying.
Oof, a little bit wide, I think. Dovzan probably seems like he knows what he's doing there on the exit of turn 10, taking a lot riding that curve. He was improving on sector 1, but it was, I think, only 22 milliseconds. Now we'll see on sector 2 what he has on his pocket. The Ferrari driver is the first of the ones of Cavallino Rampante. Now 86 milliseconds. We'll see where he lands now after this lap. Seems like he won't be improving any position at the moment, but he has on sector 3. The driver now, I think, is his full-time debut as well as other drivers on this league. Now opening the DRS, the Ferrari climbing to 7th gear, 8th gear, and now he doesn't improve position. Is very tight with Jeffrey Miguel Renault Ricci, but is still P6.
So P6, good position, but we'll see if the drivers behind him can improve, and that's definitely going to affect his position there. But we have more drivers going for the lap. We have Eruption as well in the middle of sector 2, I believe.
He's improving.
The heavy braking zone, he is improving a lot right now. Let's see if we get good traction coming out the zone. It's a bit laggy, so I don't know if he's spinning off or it's due to the lag. But time is time. You'll see the time he'll put across in the leaderboard. He's rounding up sector 2. We can see how much he improves on this sector. Will he get purple or will he not improve by much? And he does improve by a little bit, and there's a traffic on his way, but these drivers aren't going to move out the way for him.
Probably affected a little bit though. We'll see when he crosses the line. I don't think he has enough to beat Avi's time. The moment he's on P2, it's 85 milliseconds of difference. He was not improving enough. We'll see what he has.
Going across the line, what time will it be? It is 25.4, and
God.
there you go. He puts his car to provisional pole. But can Avi, Jack AC, Brains2, or Richie deny that pole position as these drivers are starting their laps right now?
A lot of drivers now finishing that Adam. I think Jack just starting. We have Taz finishing it now on last corner. Both AlphaTauris on the last row. We will see if they have something left on their hands. Now is at 26.1, improving to P17.
26.1 as well as Luis. Still starting off his lap. We can go to Richie, which he sets his car in the purple sector in sector 2, improving by a tenth and a half. So let's see how he does going on to the last corner. Will he take that pole away from Eruption? Nonetheless, Eruption, that was so close to invalidating. Let's see the lap time he does. He sets a P2, a 25.4 right behind Eruption.
Avi not improving on sector 1. Now at the exit of turn 8, he has a little bit of traffic. I think that's the McLaren of the Eruption. Now going wide. That McLaren to let the last pole sitter go. Now he's on P3. He doesn't have much time left. This is only Atom now, the only one he has now to set a lap better than Eruption. That took away the pole position, the provisional pole position that the McLaren driver had. Now Brains2. Amazing lap. He puts his car ahead of Eruption. Now Avi is the only one. I don't think he has improving. He was improving? I don't know.
I have no idea, but it looks like Jack AC is improving by a lot. I saw him improving 2/10 in the second sector. But can he get a good position? He sets his car into P5. But let's see what can he do? He didn't... Yeah,
oh, Avi aborted the lap.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to abort the lap. So, looks like this might be it. Doesn't look like Eruption is gonna go for another lap. He's gonna go definitely come back into the pits, as well as everyone else is. Harlem is going back into the pits.
They had a mistake on last corner, I think.
Yeah, looks like it. Yeah, and Taz is going back. I believe Noah Carmen as well is going back into the pits. He puts his car last place, unfortunately for the Haas driver. And the only driver I believe Mick Blurk as well is on the lap. It's the last car on the lap right now.
No, he's not. He will be putting the car on the boxes, I think. Yeah. I think that might be it.
This is it. Yeah, I believe this is it. So here it is. Brains2 sets his car on pole and has a really good position for the race. What do you think of the times right here?
It's really, really close. You can see the interval there between these drivers, and well, it's just 17 milliseconds between top 2, 47 between top 3. I think not even a tenth between first driver. No, it's less than a tenth between the top 5. This is amazing. It's amazing.
Well, there you go. Brains2 sets his car on pole with the Haas at 25.4. You can see the top 5 is just so close. Not even that. Top 10 is so close. We have Eruption P2 for McLaren 25.4 and Richie with a 25.4 as well. You have Avi, Jack AC, best mates as well, putting a 25.5, as well as Vincent, Dovzan, Luis, Harlem, Kai, Mick Blurk, Yaxilol, Drake Dempsey, all staying in their car in the 25.8. This grid is just unbelievably close. As running up those drivers, we have P15 for 25.9. We have Candy King. I believe that was a 26.0. What lap times you can see from these drivers.
Not even half a second. Well, I think it was half a second, 2 milliseconds more between the top 15 drivers. So that was really, really incredible from these Tier 1 drivers. Now waiting for these guys to ready up and to select their strategies, their fuel, to change probably a tad their pressures, their tire pressures.
Yeah, the usual gist of is to change your wings. Maybe I know some drivers are doing 10.9. They might change it back to 9.9 or however front wings they're doing, or they change their tire pressures to have more grip in the fronts, as well as changing the strategy and your fuel, because that's very important.
Yeah, you need always to regulate that one, because you can be dead if you don't have a good strategy in terms of fuel. And you never want to be, with the car without fuel, of course, you want to finish the race, and would be even more dramatically if you are in the front.
That would be. So, going to switch back into the race while their cars are doing formation lap. Give me 1 second. But we saw those times, especially the 25.8s. Those lap times were unbelievably close. I've never seen gap times that close, to be honest.
It's been a while since we saw something like this. I think even in Bahrain, I think it was last season, not last season, but other seasons we have seen things close like this. But this time, again, Tier 1 drivers doing it once again, as we have the grid with the tires. Top 10, starting with the softs they qualified in with, and the bottom 10, only Agustin Torlaski with those softs on P17. The other drivers with the mediums, just opting for the reverse strategy.
Yeah, it's interesting to see P17 having those soft tires. It's definitely, I don't know if it's gonna help him in the future of the race, but let's see what kind of strategy he has in mind. Maybe he has some alternate 2-stop strategy that we never know of, but we'll see.
Shown at least on my screen, and I think in everyone's screen, lagging a little bit too much to be comfort with. I think Jeffrey just overtook him to not have any issues with that. We hope it's not an issue for the drivers on the race, and we hope that it's not an issue for us either. Now into last corner, everyone warming up their fronts, their rears. Oof. It's gonna be intense for turn 1, because there's space to put the car on that corner, and then after a while you have a cork bottle between 2 and 3. We'll see, because normally there's incidents, there's touches, there's damage. It's gonna be interesting.
It's definitely gonna be interesting. All these cars are now lining up for the race. We have Noah Carmen in last place, lining up into the grids. And now, we can see Brains 2 in P1, right behind him, Eruption and Richie, waiting for the lights to turn reds, and we'll get away for Emerald Tier 1. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 red lights. And they're off. Tires are rolling. Everyone's away with the startup. Everyone's boosting their ARS and they're gone. Look at everyone's getting that amazing start. Some people are going 3 right now. There's a bit juggling with positions right now, but everything's keeping close. Eruption's going for the overtakes, but doesn't look like he's saying it through. Is Jeffrey Ritchie right behind him? The Aston Martins and the Avi are going side by side right now. Is the Mercedes going to push it through? And someone's behind him. The Mercedes has spun. Who is that in the background?
It's McBurk. Had a spin on turn 3. Massive for him. I don't know if he has damage. A lot of exchanges on my screen at least, with Avi there on P4, Jacak on P3, I think.
Oh, and Eruption has left the session. Down. Oh, somehow Eruption was caught in that maybe he has crashed and he lost position because of that. But we need to bring it back as fast as possible because he's losing a lot of positions.
Done it already, but it's very bad luck for him. He started pit, so now he's side by side between Vincent, I think it was with Drake Dempsey, but now another exchange on the back. Yaxiel and Agustin Torlaski selecting those softs is working for him now on the outside of turn 11. Ooh, a little bit of contact between them, but the Red Bull is ahead. It's P14 for him now.
And he does have a 3-second penalty, so that was pretty quick coming off of lap 1. He was a bit too close to the track limits, or maybe that was a turbo warning. See some cars going off of turn 11. But right now we're finishing the first lap of Tier 1 with Brains 2 still leading, as well as Richie and Jack AC in P2 and P3. The trains are starting to form now. You can see the top 5 are starting to run off.
Harlem really close to best mate. I don't know if he's gonna put it there on the inside. I don't think so. He's waiting for it. Yare Santiago and Kai changing positions. I think it was a big dive from Yare. We really slow on the apex of turn 1, just behind his teammate. I think there was contact. I don't know if he has damage on that front end, but it seems that he took that position ahead of the McLaren. Both McLarens really not having the best one at the moment. Eruption on last place will not be happy after that qualifying.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Eruption, but he needs to keep his head down and continue on with the race. We can see number 1 medium tire is Drake Dempsey, putting his medium tires up to the pace with other softs. Hopefully he can keep this up and go for some overtakes, because he was put himself up in the really good positions. You can see there's some close combats right now. No contacts yet, no side by side. We're going through these straights. We are sure to see some action coming up very soon, as the earlier one is pretty important for these drivers, especially for these softs, where these softs can definitely excel well, and they need to put themselves in a position where they can just follow the train and keep in DRS, where DRS here is so important. They need to do anything at cost to just keep inside that range.
And Bristol almost, I think, took it there from Jeffrey, but Jeffrey using a little bit more of VRS there to close the gap between him and the leader of the race, setting another fastest lap. Well, Jeffrey, there you have it, half a second behind him, and I don't know, no, he's not using DRS now, as DRS will be enabled on this lap. We can see it there on the top. He will have DRS now at the exit of turn 3 and into turn 4, and of course at the other zones of turn 10, 11 and the main straight.
Some drivers getting too close there. Vincent Nyquist was trying to look for that overtake, but nothing's there yet. He's still right behind him, 3/10 off the medium runner. Vincent needs to overtake him quickly if he wants to put his soft tires to use, or else he'll be slowed down by the medium tire choices. But the gaps are getting too close now. We have Bestmate outside of DRS, so he is leading beyond top 5 train, as well as P1 to P4. They're in their own little train right now, trying to keep close with each other.
That's gonna hard a little bit the race of the medium runners, because that train is separating a little bit between P4 and 5, as you were saying. That's made 1.53. They're behind Avi, so not catching that DRS will be splitting this grid. We will be seeing that on this first stint, unless someone can really overtake the Ferrari and put a really incredible pace to catch Avi. That doesn't seem likely at the moment. We'll see who's the first one. It seems like Harlem as well will be losing DRS. It seems like he did a mistake on turn 13, and now Dovzwan, the teammate of Bestmate, will be trying to put that move on. Harlem doesn't have the energy and DRS, and now Ferrari just will be passing the Alpine as nothing. Harlem, I don't think he was trying to defend that one. He knows that the Ferrari behind him was faster.
Yeah, it's unlucky. But he's still in the DRS now. He can just follow up with these drivers.
Oh.
There's some exchanges in the back.
And on the top, Jeffrey just overtook Brain Steel. That's, I think, a move at the exit of turn 3 into turn 4. And he takes the lead now. The Alpine missed that one as Jeffrey in 2 places from the beginning of this race. We will see if he can manage this race as he wants, or he will be pushing probably to extend that gap or to conserve the tires. We'll see. Brain Steel still very, very close at the back of that Alpine.
Brain still keeping good pace though. What an overtake from Richie is. Unfortunately, we missed it. Could have wished we saw, but we did see some action. But still, Brain Stew is right behind him. He's really close to him, around 2 to 3 tenths. So if he can keep in that range for the DRS zone, we can see probably an easy overtake. As well as the gaps are getting closer and closer, but Bestmate is falling a bit behind between the P4 train. And as Dovzan is getting a bit too impatient. They are Ferrari teammates, so maybe if he's slowing a bit down, they're gonna have to do some exchanges, or some team orders might be put into play. Harlem requests.
I think he's going for it. Sorry to cut you, but there he goes, utilizing a little bit of battery. Jeffrey not going so defensive. The DRS is really powerful. As the back as well, Abby seems like to be pushing that one, but Brinstick gets ahead of the Alpine. My game has crashed, it seems, but as well moves behind him.
Yeah, looks like Brainstu puts himself up into P1. Avi almost had it. I think Avi overtook Jack AC, or I don't know who it was, but looks like the Mercedes tried to go for to capitalize off of Brainstu move. He almost had it there, but these drivers are keeping it so close. All this fighting is allowing Dozan to sort of catch up, but he's still outside of that DRS range. Harlem as well, he is keeping really close against Bestmate. So if Bestmate Dozan, I don't know, they might have to put in some team orders here. Just Drake Dempsey is actually putting a good pace with those medium tires. The intervals are a bit messed up, so gonna have to see who's in the overtake. Arias looks like he's a bit far behind, but maybe he still has that DRS open up. As we have these drivers running up the last turns of lap 5, we see more overtakes from Richie. He is keeping very close, as well as Avi. They are both equal level on ERS, but you can see Jack AC used up most of his ERS. He's down to 30%, while the others are around 50 to 70%. So now,
race by Drake. He was doing a very good stint his first 5 laps with those mediums, being the first one on those and not losing the train. So it's really good pace from the Red Bull.
Looks like Richie actually he actually stayed behind Brainstew. Maybe it might be to save tires or save the ERS, but he didn't want to go for that overtake, as probably felt like there wasn't enough enough time to go for that overtake. But these drivers, of those 4 drivers, keeping it close behind. There's some overtake going behind with Yaxelo and Drake Dempsey. Actually, think about it now, Drake Dempsey has actually fallen down the order by a lot. Does he have damage?
I think, yeah, he has damage.
Yeah, he is slowing down. Yeah, it looks like he has some sort of problem that he's slowing down for all these drivers. Unfortunate for the top medium runner, but that puts Angel Aris as the first medium runner out there.
That was a jinx. It seems like there was contact between him and Vincent, as they say on the chat. It's really unfortunate to be in that situation after a very good first 5 laps, as I was saying. But it's really bad luck for him.
That's unfortunate for Drake Dempsey. He was looking good with that pace, but race is not over yet. There's still about 24 laps left, 23 laps left. So we'll see going on through these corners. There is a yellow flag. Yeah, that is Drake Dempsey falling down that order. Jack AC.
Tires overheated.
Yeah, most likely. Yeah, Jack AC is 2 tenths behind Avi. Will he go for the overtake here? Is stuck behind. He's not going to utilize his battery, as well as Richie. Is he going to go for a move? He does look into the inside. But no, looks like these drivers are keeping close. Maybe they're playing a bit smart. They just want to keep in this order and use what they can going through the last laps of the races, maybe.
Dovzan as well, really catching that train of the top 4. Well, they were battling, and he was able to catch. Meanwhile, yellow flag, I think it's Drake as well. Another mistake on last corner, so really Yeah, lucky for him, he will be pitting. I don't know if he will be retiring from the race, but looks unlikely.
Hopefully he can keep going. Oh, there's a spin from Best Mate. Best Mate has spun and he's retired. Is that going to bring out a safety car? Doesn't look like it so far. Still yellow flag for sector 2, but no safety car out yet. He went a bit too hard on that corner, and looks like he just spun off going through that high traction zone. Maybe he went to the throttle too much, but no safety car for that, surprisingly.
Yeah, a bit too much curb, and the cars just went into the wall. Really unlucky for him. He was doing a very good job there on P6, but everyone gains a place from that accident. He's out of the race on his first race in Tier 1 of this season. Really harsh for him after practicing, all these drivers practicing for this race. When you're out, it really hurts.
Well, that's how the curbs work in Bahrain. You hit those curbs and you fly off, so these drivers need to be careful. Lap 7, and we had our first eruption.
Oh, Abby going for the move. Jeffrey as well going for the move on Brinsteel. Seems like Brinsteel is gonna let Jeffrey at the outside line. There's a little bit of contact between the rear right of Jeffrey and Brinsteel. Abby not going for the move as they were going to create that 3-wide situation. Brinsteel now having another shot to keep the lead. Jeffrey squeezing him in the inside of that back straight. Jeffrey trying the switch, but it's not gonna happen. Brinsteel keeping that lead on lap 8. It's before the pit windows, so it's crucial to keep it like this.
Wow, what actually we saw Abby again trying to capitalize from these two people driving. He's keeping behind those drivers, just waiting for the perfect opportunity, but Brinsteel takes back his position. He takes back his pole lap, and he sets his car in first, but will Jeffrey retaliate by putting his car back into pole?
Jeffrey utilizing really good the outside curve of turn 10 to have better traction. It seems like Brinsteel utilized a little bit of that energy to put a little bit of gap. We'll see if he's pitting now. I think it's too early probably to the soft-medium strategy, but can be double. Now, Yaxel having another penalty, the only driver to have penalties on this race yet.
So Abby's so close to Richie. He's only 2/10. He's most likely he needs to get that good exit if he wants to go for the overtake. The laps are coming out, the pit window is open soon. Lap range is around lap 9 to lap 11 if you want to go for the medium strategy. Or if you want to go for the hard strategy, you pit now.
Harlem just pitting with the Alpine.
Oh, and we have Richie going out. Looks like Richie went to defend. It looks like, is Richie going to go for the overtake? And he does go for the overtake. But is Brinsteel going to retaliate by setting his car? He's just going to utilize his battery, but is that going to be enough to take the car? No, it doesn't look like it's going to be.
He's going to stay behind. McBlurg having a 5-second time penalty for speeding on the pit lane. That's really hard because, well, it seems like a fair penalty for him, so will be added on his time.
Yeah, unfortunate. There's nothing you can do about that unless another factor has made you speed into the pit. But yeah, look at Abby's only 1.5 tenths close to Brinsteel. They really need to make some positions if they want to pit for the mediums, because they need the positions to come out of that pit lane on top.
Really good. This battle for the lead, as we were saying, really important. Some drivers doing the undercut, so it can be really good because, well, it's McBlurg with the hards. I don't know at which point that is a good strategy. I don't know. They will go to the end, of course, but probably a little bit slow to do the undercut. Now Eruption has pitted. It seems like Harlem as well.
Oh, looks like McBlurg has left the session. And Besme as well, yeah. Looks like we can get McBlurg back into the race. But are these drivers going to pit? Jeffrey is pitting. Richie is pitting. And are we going to see an overtake coming from these drivers? They're so close behind. McBlurg is disqualified from parking in dangerous location.
The car was parked with neutral gear. That was really weird to see. I was going to invite him, but I don't think I have him on front list. Sadly, that's his race done for today. I don't know what happened to the driver from Mercedes.
Might have been an AI issue, but unfortunate for him. We have an invisible sector. That's probably where McBlurg is. But there's still one Mercedes driver lead left, and he is in a very good position to bring home some good points. Richie actually going for the undercut.
Yeah, Richie pitted before. He has clean air, so it's good for him. He has his teammates just behind him. That is really good because the Alpine can make a 1-2 right now after Brinsteel and Avi pit, and Avi seems like really fast. He's pushing a lot. He has a lot of battery as well, and he wants Brinsteel to go faster and faster because they know they are losing that place with the Alpines. Well, there's a yellow flag. It's Yara Santiago off.
Yara Santiago's off. Is that true? Yes, he is off, but he is back on track. Is there any damage into that Williams? Doesn't look like there is any. Yeah, doesn't look like there is any. But are we gonna see Brainstew and Avi start paying for these tires? Or are we gonna see them go off for another lap? Yeah, there they go. There's everyone going back in pit. We'll most likely see Brainstew gets a 5-second penalty. Oh no, that's so unfortunate for Brainstew. That's such a heavily penalty for speeding. Oh, that's so unlucky. But race is still not over yet. Could be a safety car and allow that 5-second penalty to be shaken off. We have Angel Aris, who's actually 3.3 seconds behind the last. Oh, I saw an overtake in the background there. Yaxel and Kai going side by side. Make sure leaving enough space. Still going side by side into the S section. Yaxel is sitting behind them. And you almost went for the overtake there.
Jeffrey, Richie, Harlem ahead of Brinsteel, as I was saying. Dobsman as well, just ahead of Avi. Probably some kind of mistake there with the Mercedes pit crew that cost another place to Avi right now. Not in a podium finish position. It seems like 1-2, at least virtual 1-2 for the Alpine drivers. And Brinsteel would be third there. But still, we have 7 drivers to pit on this grid.
Yeah, it looks like there's an invisible car putting yellow sectors around the track, so that's a fake yellow flags there. But look at Angel Aris, is actually 3.5 seconds away from P2, which is pretty good pace coming off that Williams.
Well, he's doing a really good job. He improved even more this lap. I think with the battle we had there with P2, he grabbed some 10th more gap between him and Kai, so he's the first driver with those old mediums, the drivers that started with those mediums. So it's a good strategy. We'll see at the end if it pays out or not, but it seems at the moment that he's doing great with that.
You have Yaxiel and Kai both fighting for those positions. Kai is defending hard, putting his car on the inside. It doesn't look like Yaxiel is gonna go for that positions. You have Yak AC and Vincent Nick West going side by side, I believe, going to turn 1. Still side by side. Vincent does get the DRS. But oh, he does go for the move. That was so close for being contact.
He doesn't have straight line speed though. Oof, almost touching there on the braking on turn 4, but they're keeping it tight and clean at the moment. Same strategy for both of them. Vincent pitted 1 lap before though, and he wants to take that place.
And Yak AC is actually very low on ERS. He's only 20%, and he has just pitted, so utilizing all of his battery in the early might cost him later on in the race, as ERS consumption is pretty high and it doesn't really regenerate well. But going to lap 12, still close battles with these drivers. We have P2 to P5 keeping a close train, while P1 is setting off and setting the pace for these drivers here.
Avi needs to win that place because he lost it 1 there on the pit stop. And we know that he has pace, so she showed it on that first stint. I think we were going to have an exchange there between Kai and Yaxiel. The Alfa Romeo putting a move there easy with DRS, easy as you like. Now Kai he has to lock up both tires to not hit the back of that Alfa Romeo. He will be losing time on traction. It shakes a little bit there, the rear for him. But he has DRS to gain that back.
Doesn't look like he's going to gain back much. He's not going to go for the overtake. But Yaxel goes for the easy overtake into turn 1. DRS is powerful going on that main straight. Good job from Yaxel. Still drivers keeping it close behind. You have Brains to actually 3/10 behind Harlem. This is actually very good for the Alpine. Harlem can defend as much as he can. He can become the Sergio Perez like we saw in Abu Dhabi real life. If he can defend Brains to, he can give some breathing space to Richie.
It's a very good strategy from Alpine. The train was really close on the first stint, and they saw it. They saw that Harlem had the opportunity to undercut everyone, and he let his teammate by. Now he's using himself as a wall, as Brain still has a lot of battery, and Harlem is suffering on that one, and probably will be even losing DRS. But that's not good for the other Alpine, so probably Jeffrey will be slowing down to give his teammate DRS to defend with.
Yeah, he's only 8 tenths. Slowly creeping around. Oh, Brainstu was so close to hitting the back of that car. Oh wow, I almost saw a spin coming off of Dozvan. He was looking shaky coming off that corner. But is Brainstu going to go for the overtake? No, he's waiting for that DRS to blast through Harlem. This is probably going to be an easy overtake for Brainstu as DRS opens wide up, uses all of his battery. Harlem puts it off. He is going side by side. Is Harlem going to go for the defensive move and dive up in the inside? No, he's not.
Late.
Yeah, it looks like he doesn't want to risk his race as well. But that was something that he left his teammate to go have some breathing space. I believe maybe Jeffrey did slow down a little bit so he can give some his teammates some DRS. But now Brainstu, Jeffrey, they're back into fighting now. 4-10 separating those two provisional drivers.
Yeah, it's really close between them. Now Brainstu, it seems like he has a lot of space. Well, oh, too much space probably, touching the back of the Alpine. No damage it seems for him, but he was setting purple sectors. It was sector 1 on purple. Well, he's going for it. No, he's not. He was looking for it. Jeffrey going really wide on turn 10. He's gonna have the move. Yeah, Brainstu has it. Has the inside, has the DRS, has the run, and now at the inside of turn 11, he has to even put the car on the perfect line, so it's really easy for him at the moment. It was wide for the Alpine on turn 10 that caused the place, and as well the DRS for Brainstu. But now the Alpine will have the DRS on the main straight. We'll see if he can get that place back. It's the virtual lead at the moment. We'll see when the other drivers pit. Yeah, it seems like, oh my god, it's really fast on that last corner, utilizing energy. Now we will be opening that DRS slipstream as well for the Alpine. Now easy as you like as well. Brainstu knows that he won't be defending too much. Still 15 laps to go.
So this one has to go. We can go back up to P2 and P3. Kai and Yaxiel, as well as Taz has been leaving. Look at that! Taz goes for a double overtake against Kai and Yaxiel, but can he keep it? The McLaren are going side by side. It looks like it almost went 3 wide going to the S section right there. And he hits it back! And Kai and Yaxiel gets collected. It's going to be retirements, but I'm sure there are definitely some damage there. Hard racing from these drivers, but that's definitely some disadvantage. But Taz gets himself in the right position and sets himself into P2. Good racing for him, but it's so unfortunate for Kai Yaxiel.
Kai actually went a little bit over the curb. That made him understeer into the side pod of Taz. At least that's what I saw at first glance. But it was really unlucky for Yaxiel, who was just behind and got collected by the other driver. There's damage, I think it was for Yaxiel, who crashed into the side pod of Kai while he was spinning. So really unlucky. Really good move from Taz.
And all this fighting allowed Candy King to get closer and closer to Taz. Jeffrey and Brainstu are now getting very close. Looks like this can be another easy overtake for Brainstu. He's playing it smart, keeping it behind Richie so he can get the overtake. Looks like Candy King as well and Taz are going for side-by-side action as well. But let's look at this overtake going off right here. Brainstu gets an easy overtake against Richie, but is he going to go defend it? No, he's not. He's going to sit himself behind Brainstu.
It's Dovzman on the inside of Richie as well. What a move from him. Now side by side at the exit of turn 2 and 3, squeezing a little bit over the curb. The Alpine to the Ferrari, both with DRS. What a move. It was 3 wide, almost 4 wide on that turn 1 braking zone. None of there was contact, but there he has it. Is P2, virtual P2 for the Ferrari. What a race he has done so far. 16 laps into this one. And he's now at the back of the leader.
Where did he come from? I didn't expect him to come out of nowhere. Was that a double overtake there?
I think even more. I think it was at least both Alpines. And yeah, I think it was only 2 overtakes. Asiar is off.
Yar Santiago is off. Is that going to bring a safety car? Most likely. And it is a safety car. He is retired right next to the track.
Yes. I think probably there was contact between him and the ghosted car. Because it's a crash at the middle of the straight and he was alone.
So, a safety car coming out. If they pit for the soft, it could... Honestly, the softs can last here if the laps... if the safety car comes in lap 18, the softs can definitely last. Yeah, this is prime position for Arias, actually. This is very good for him.
To not speed on the pit lane. Okay.
There we go.
And Candy and Taz and Noel. That's really good for them. I don't know if the thing is Brain still will beat or not. I don't know what is better here.
If that was
Probably
him, I
keeping
would
track
definitely
position is
pit.
really good.
But he has that
And he is
5-second penalty.
pitting.
Yeah, he is pitting. Oh, but they
Does
are
the-
double
oh!
stacking though.
Harlem is not bidding either. Anyone is bidding on the strategy of the normal strategy of soft to mediums. Everyone's staying out, except I think Vincent, Luis, and Kai.
Oh,
as
look at that
still.
double stack. Brainstew is being double stacked by his teammate. But the double stack is upgraded. There's a 5-second time penalty, so there is time
That's
lost,
good for
but not much time lost there.
He had to bid to serve that penalty, so I think that was the best option for him, because otherwise safety car and 5 seconds, well, and having 5 seconds is not good because you have all the grid on your back and you will lose even more positions. So I think that was the only option he had.
But look at that, Arias in P6 with the new softs. He is gonna be blazing quick going through these drivers, and Dovzan sets himself into P1. This is an amazing move from Dovzan. He did like a double or triple overtake.
With double, but he's in the lead now. That's amazing.
Very good. So we've seen a lot of action. Unfortunate for it's actually kind of good for Yaxiel and Kai. They just had damage and they need a safety car, somebody to bring them back self into the pace, as well
for Drake. Drake,
yeah. It's good that he didn't retire, because you see now he can come back to the race and maybe gain to the point positions.
That's really good for him. I think he deserves it. That's after the first 5 laps he did with those mediums, and now he will have another chance. I would have waited if I was him. So another lap, and you can serve 1 lap of soft, but well, he has it there already. I think green flag will be on lap 19.
This is actually really good for reaction as well. Yeah, we saw him. He was sending himself pretty far back down there in the grids because of the session. He left, and now he set himself P15. And we know that he has brilliant pace in Bahrain. But can he keep his car in the track and overtake as many cars as he liked? How many drivers are there with softs? Let's see, there are 5 medium runners. I believe there's about 14 soft runners, I believe.
5 and 3, I think something like that. I think 12, probably. Not sure.
14,
but
13.
Yeah, something like that.
There's a lot of soft runners though. So the top 5 drivers going for the softs. You can see Avi and Jack AC with the freshest medium out there. But everyone else is on the same lap soft tires. So those people back down there, are they gonna overtake these mediums? I know definitely Arias, we're gonna see some good pace from him, but how can these top 5 drivers defend from these blistering fast softs? We will see coming on to his next lap. I believe maybe the safety car will come in next lap, as Drake Dempsey is pretty far behind. And
I think he's burning fuel, Drake. That's why he's going slow. And probably he wants another lap of safety car, so he doesn't have the rush to catch the safety car. Less laps is better for the soft runners, so he's one of those, and he wants the best for him, of course.
It definitely helps with the soft runners. They can save their tires for 10 lap of racing. So their tires are going to be around 4 to 8% of tire wear, and that's just enough to get their car into the good positions, or not at least be in the puncture territory. But we also saw some drivers using their softs for the quali, as well as some drivers opting for the medium and saving a soft. So for those drivers that actually saved a soft, they're in a prime position as they have fresh new softs ready to use for the race.
It's gonna be really, really interesting. Not gonna lie, my bias will say one Spanish driver here that can win will be with him. Not gonna lie, that's the thing. The thing is, will he be able to gain those 5 places he needs to be on top? It's gonna be really, really interesting. 10 lap.
Oh, safety car is in this lap. That's so late coming from the safety car. They don't have much time to heat up the tires. I don't think they were expecting that.
The mediums are really, really cold.
Yeah, that can tell from Dovzan. His mediums were cold, so he's gonna take his time. We'll see when he goes off, and he goes now. Restart is off. Everyone's going now. Looks like Jeff Ritchie is actually getting good pace. Marquis is just faster than Ritchie. Is he gonna go for the overtake here? I don't think they are, but it looks like Dovzan. Yes, they are. They're going side by side, going to turn 1. He leaves enough space.
Angel doing the move on Jack at the restart, and now at the outside of Avi, he's getting it. Suit done already. 3 to go. Now he's on the back of Harlem. There's moves as well. They're on the back, Candy King and Taz. Taz on the outside, though almost touching the back of the Aston Martin. Jackak still holding that place. Taz going a little bit wide on turn 4. And Hilarious really close at the back of Harlem, who has a little bit of snap of understeer and oversteer at the same time. Now going on the inside. Look at Hilarious on turn 8. Looking a little bit the tires. Now traction out of turn 8. He gets the move done and he's now in the podium.
Yeah, we can see the softs already going up really quick right now. They just can't stop their speed. And I won't be surprised if Arias is going to set himself really close to Richie right now. We saw Harlem and Richie, they were fighting out going into turn 1. But Arias is just blazingly quick right now, as well as these other softs. Candy King is right behind Jack AC, the Aston teammates. So there's definitely going to be some team orders going around. Jack Dempsey, looks like Eruption is falling down the order as well. There's something wrong with him. But looks like Arias is right behind Richie, just waiting for that overtake to happen.
He has it on his hands. He's even saving a little bit of battery. He knows he doesn't have to rush. He has it on his hands now, utilizing that DRS. Richie knows, and he's utilizing as well now. It's double slipstream. Richie going for the move, I think, for the Ferrari. Angel will go to the inside. Richie probably as well to cover that move. Angel braking really late to get the move done. They are side by side on the apex. A little bit better. The exit for Jeffrey, who closes the door then at the exit of turn 3. No DRS still for these drivers. Angel utilizing that energy. He will get the move or not. We will see on turn 4. Yeah, he rushes to it. Oh, almost contact between them. He locks the tires now and he's on the inside. Eruption retiring on pits meanwhile, and he's up into P2. Angel Arias still, he has 1 car left and 10 laps to go, but he's really close to that win.
Beto challenging all his Spanish power, as well as Arias. He is definitely using his Spanish power right now to go push off his car into P1 right now. He's right behind Dovzan.
How close?
Look how close it is. They're literally few milliseconds behind. He's going for the overtake. He doesn't need no ERS. He just needs straight power to set his car into P1, and he takes the lead. Man is flying. He is setting his car going through these pack, and he's setting the pace up for everyone as the DRS is not even activated yet.
He needs to skip it side now. He needs to extend that gap, break the DRS window, but it doesn't seem likely. He's low on battery, and that's not good news for any Spaniard there on the chat. Good battery for the Ferrari, meanwhile behind him, keeping it that really sane. Now a lot of exchanges as Brainsteve, it seems like he had damage or something, as he's losing a lot of places. DRS enabled, as we were saying, as Brainsteve was going to the pits. It doesn't seem like he is. It does seem like the race is going to finish for him today after taking the pole position. Drake Dempsey and Lewis exchanging at the back.
Oh, Kai's off. Kai's off into turn 1. They had some contact there, and he's off right now. Still keeping it close together though. Candy King surprisingly is still behind Jack AC. So yeah, there's some team orders here that's still not being put into play. Brainstrew has retired in the pits.
Yeah, he didn't have more chances. He had damage, I think, on the front end after some battles with Lewis and Drake Dempsey.
There's some overtakes right now going off. Candy King and Taz, they're fighting it out right now. Still going side by side. Who's going to go for overtake here? Still going side by side. There's not much space going off there. And Candy King gets the better traction due to that being left no space. Candy King, Jack AC, they definitely need to work together now. They need to switch positions. Candy King is in the great... has better tires. Most importantly, Arias, he is outside the DRS range right now. He's 1.1 seconds. Yeah.
It's really close. Candy King as well, really close on his teammate. I think they should exchange there. Well, Harlem really going out there offside the track at turn 13. Now we will see if he has lost something there with his teammate. Who's going to overtake? Yeah, I think he's going to overtake. Dobson not even going to defend that. I think he did a move there, and he wants Jeffrey to catch the leader. Well, and there is the DRS window has been closed, and the gap is less than a second. It's 7 laps and a half to go, and I have to say I'm shaking.
There's a lot of action thanks to that safety car. There you go, Candy King, Jack AC, finally recharging, but this is going to allow Taz to go for the overtake. Is he going to go for a double overtake here? No. Oh, Candy King, he went a bit wide, and look, even Vincent is getting into the mix, and Drake Dempsey is going side by side, going to the X section. There's no space for anyone, and Jack AC got hit by contact. The rear is just going off. Is this going to allow Neuro Carmen as well? Everyone's getting to the mix. They're tired of waiting for all these drivers. They're getting into the action right now and allowing for all these drivers to go past by side right now. Still, we're seeing Jack AC actually. Is there going to be any space left with these two drivers? Looks like Jack AC sets himself, but is he going to get the extra speed going out these stars? And I need to catch my breath because I cannot speak.
Amazing battles. Really unlucky again. Drake Dempsey, I think there was no space and he tried it so bad. It was really probably too much for him. There was no space and he put it the nose and he went another time to the back of this grid. I think that will be it for him today. Now Angel Arias breaking the DRS once again. He will have it. Well, he won't have it. Jeffrey Ritchie.
Looks like Harlem
between them will be the best.
Yeah, Harlem and Avi. Harlem has no ERS at all. It looks like it's going to be an easy overtake for Avi, the Mercedes driver. But is Harlem going to retaliate? No, he's not. He's going to send himself. Oh, he is. He is going side by side. He went for the move. He needs to bet the better exit speed to get off into the DRS zone. But he has little to no ERS. I don't think it's going to be enough for him to get in there. As
both
we have
with the same battery.
Jack AC and Augustin is going side by side right now. Going to turn 4.
Outside. He's trying it.
Yeah,
no
looks like
there.
Drake Dempsey has some sort of collision and retired in the pits. But going to the last 5 laps of the race, there's still a lot of action pack left.
1.4 seconds between the leaders. Angel Arias is still extending that gap. They are both on really low battery. They are pushing as Jeffrey goes wide and turn 10 once again, as we saw before on the first 10 tasks on the inside of Harlem Marquez, who seems to be losing pace on those old mediums. Taz now up into P5 after starting on the back. Candy King on the inside of turn 11. A little bit of contact between the side pod and the front right of that Aston Martin. Really low on battery, as we were saying, the Alpine, as Candy King has to yield there. And Luis is trying the move on Vincent at the back. He's trying on turn 13, a little bit of contact between them side by side. Who's there? Is Vincent keeping that place? Now Candy King has to wait for that move on. Harlem Marquez low on energy, as we were saying, and Candy King is going to push everything he has on his disposal.
Oh, Luis is going to the pits, actually. Might have some collision there, but looks like there's still some overtakes left. Harlem getting overtaken by Candy King. He has no ERS with old tires. He is quickly falling down the order. But Dovzan is actually keeping up the pace with Richie as well as Avi. He's sticking right behind Dovzan, waiting for the perfect opportunity to go for the overtake.
It was really good. I don't know why Luis went to the pit. It's just really interesting, as he was in the points, probably damaged, it seemed like, on his front end. There the engineers changing that one. Now Avi really close to Dosvan as well. Vincent on Harlem, probably gonna take it on the outside of turn 8. No space there found for the Alfa Romeo, changing between the other Alfa Romeo and the Haas of Noel Carman.
Yeah, looks like these Alfa Romeo are trying to keep together, but Vincent needs to quickly overtake if he wants to allow his softs to go faster. But he's stuck behind the main driver. But he's gonna go for the overtake. DRS is activated, and he does. Is Harlem going to retaliate at all? No, he's not. With the low ERS and tires, he is not going to have much space coming out of that corner. But this allows Noah Carmen and the Yaxiel to kind of catch up a little bit. Only 5 laps left, and you can see the gaps are getting closer and closer. Angel Arias, he is off right now. He doesn't see the cars behind him, and he's just gone with a 3-second gap lead. But this doesn't stop for the action to start. We have Richie and Dovzan and Avi. Dovzan keeping close. He's going to go for the overtake. He's not utilizing his battery. And he is. A nice overtake from him. Not much fighting there.
As well. Who knows? No, it's too late. Jack going into the pits. I think he had damage because Noel braked a little bit earlier than expected on turn 10. And Jack went to the rear of him. Now Jeffrey at the exit of turn 3, opening that DRS. I think he's going to use this as ERS recharge because he was really low and he needs that to keep the pace. He was falling down a lot to Angel, and he will leave Dobson to try to make it with him. Now a little bit of exchange there on the back, as Taz is just behind Avi. We will see if Taz has anything on his advantage to take it and take that place for P4. Seems like the softs are still working better than the mediums, but the energy on that AlphaTauri is lower than on that Mercedes, so we will see what he can do. The RS train as well will be really difficult to overtake.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's only 13 drivers left. 7 retirements so far. That's a lot considering Bahrain, but Bahrain is such a tough track. You can get so much damage And these drivers are so skilled, they know what they're doing, they want that action, and they're really aggressive with it. So, still 4 laps left. A lot of action still to uncover as we have Taz and Avi so close. Taz on the softs. The softs are slowly dying off.
Avi going for it. He knows Jeffrey is suffering a little bit with that pace, and he doesn't want to be the first to be overtaken by Taz, so he's pushing right now to get that place done. Jeffrey really braking late, locking both tires, almost hitting the rear of the Ferrari, but still really good braking and gaining time on that zone of the track. Taz and Candy King still really close between each other and this train of mediums.
Yeah, this allowed, Candy King is just sticking behind right here. Lewis has the fastest lap as he has on new tires, but he's not going to get that extra point as he's not in the top 10. Harlem is sticking behind Vincent. He is in his points, but he is suffering a lot because of that ERS. He's not keeping up the pace, and Yaxel and Noel are just waiting for that perfect opportunity for him to slip up and quickly go past the rim. So, a lot of action with these drivers here. A lot of close combat, but we're going to have to see some more action going towards the end of the lap where everyone's fighting for that position, utilizing everything they have, everything they stored in the race. Tires where ERS doesn't matter. They want to spam everything on the last lap, so they're probably going to save now, save their resources, and then gap everyone else.
Yeah, it's going to be really interesting at the end of this race because the mediums are going to get a little bit faster. It seems like Taz is not being able to overtake or getting closer and closer to Avi as my game has crashed, so I'll be back in a few moments. Just
no worries. As we have Avi right behind Richie. He is getting closer and closer. Is he going to go for the overtake here? He's not utilizing much of his battery, but they're also getting really close to Dosan. Avi is going for the moves, taking his car into turn 1. They're going side by side as they go up to turn 2. Turn 3, DRS is activated. Avi is sticking behind Richie, but who's going to get the better exit speed? Looks like Richie is still getting that better exit speed, but is he going to send it through? No, he doesn't. This allowed Taz to get really close, but still no overtakes yet. Avi went for a good move, but still not in there yet. We can see Avi is still 10% more ERS on Richie. So we can definitely see some more actions coming into the next move. Oh, we have Taz coming out of nowhere. Going for the overtake, he says, you know what? I want to use these softs. Let me through, man. I need to get some positions. Candy King as well, sticking right behind him. But Vincent is almost outside the DRS range. Yeah, it looks like he doesn't have any DRS. Good news for Harlem. But, yeah, it's still sticking. It still has low ERS with that 10%. As well as Yaxiel. Noah Carmen does have more ERS. He is the last point scorer. So he wants to definitely see if he can get more positions as they're so close. Looks like it's going to be P9 due to Yaxiel penalties. Looks like there's a yellow flag for Kai. Kai has spun coming off the corner there. Yeah, those curves are definitely damaging for those who are not careful going on the corners. So, unfortunate for the McLaren boys today. No points looking like it. But going into now, turn 1. The main DRS straight. Is Avi going to go for the overtake again? He's not utilizing his battery as much. He probably most likely wants to fix it. But is Richie going to go for the overtake? He's right close to Dovzan. But no, sticks right behind Dovzan. It doesn't look like he wants to go overtake him. As well as Avi and Taz. Avi's sort of pulling away. It looks like the softs are quickly dying. And it looks like the mediums are getting faster than the softs.
It seems like Taz, as I was saying, was losing a little bit. At least they were at the same pace, and he was the AlphaTauri had to utilize a lot of energy to keep the pace with them. Now, not having that advantage with the Mercedes, falling a little bit down, still with DRS zone. So we'll see what he can do. Is still 1 lap and a half to go on this first race for Tier 1 Emerald Season 6.
We're going to the provisional lap. This race is almost over, and we can see most likely Angel Arias is going to send himself into P1, but the softs are slowly dying. He just needs to keep his car in the track, and we can see the first winner of Tier 1. But the race is still not over yet. Taz looking a bit squirmy coming off those corners. The guys are getting closer and closer. As well as Harlem actually keeping himself still in DRS range. We saw Vincent actually going off the track there. But it's Avi
as well going wide.
Yeah.
Really wide. He needs to make that move done. He knows it's the last chance as well. Jeffrey, Richie, who knows that he needs to make it done now. He has more battery now, trying to break that slipstream, the Ferrari driver. It's 1.9 between him and the leader, but they know this battle is for P2 as Jeffrey goes in the outside line. Ferrari really blocking that one. Wow, that move from Jeffrey is trying to keep it side by side on turn 2. Now turn 3, there's a space for both cars. DRS will be for the Ferrari, who can keep better speed.
Look at Avi, they're going 3 wide.
Now on the
They're
outside,
there's some contact with Richie. Dozan is setting himself in front. Looks like this is very good position for him. But is there going to be any more overtakes? There's still one DRS left. Both of them are so low in ERS, and they're still so close with each other.
It's so close between them. Avi trying to look there for the move on turn 8. Not gonna work, where he has more battery than both drivers that are ahead. Angel Arias still 1.7 ahead of this battle. Jeffrey looking for it. There's contact between both of them, and Avi probably gonna take one there. Move to take both places as there's an exchange. Jeffrey on the inside. On the back straight, Avi's gonna take it as well. He's gonna take the podium away from Journey as he get it done on turn 11. Jeffrey is second now. The Ferrari is trying to make a move at the exit of turn 11. He gonna go for it on turn 13. Yes, he is, of course. And Avi trying to switch back or going off track a little bit. Yes, he's going off track there. Side by side is still there as Angel Arias is still on the last corner. But this action is amazing for the podium. Is last corner. Who's gonna get it on the inside? He is the Ferrari. There's go. There's chance for Avi as well, but he goes off track there, side by side.
We're gonna see a photo finish. Who's gonna cross? Dovzat sets himself in P3. Oh my god, that was so close with 14 milliseconds separating them. My god, that photo finish, we love to see that here. What a race we have. Oh my god, with Richie sets himself in P2. Well, you missed it. Arias, first winner of Tier 1, wins the Tier 1 Bahrain Emerald race. The first Spaniard to win the Tier 1 in Season 6. Amazing achievement with him, 1.8 second gap. Jeffrey Miguel Reno Richie sets himself up for P2, as well as Dovzan with a photo finish in P3. What an amazing race.
What an amazing race. Till the last corner, the podium was not decided, and Dovzan kept it there. Oh. I can't even believe it.
What a race.
That was amazing. Race. That safety car changed it, everything. That strategy was better. Driver of the day starting at the back. I think it was P14 for him. And winning the race. First Emerald win for Angel Arias.
Yeah, looks like it. Spaniard winning the first race here. Especially from your home, from your birth country as well, Bito. This is happy sight for you.
It's really good. Last time driver, I think, well, I don't know if, I think Yare won a couple of races last season, but it's been a while since Spain was not there at the top. Angel Arias taking that win from P15. Amazing strategy, thanks to a safety car. You don't have to, well, we know it was as well thanks to that, but as well because the pace that he's shown at the first and second stint with those moves, incredibly timed.
Well, there you go. We have Arias winning the Emerald Bahrain race. We have Richie in P2 with the Alpine, and Dovzan and Avi with the photo finish. I couldn't keep my eyes off the action. They were going side by side throughout the whole lap. Candy King in the Aston Martin rounding up the top 5. We have P6 Taz, P6 7 Vincent, P8 we have Harlem, and P9 Noel, and P10 Yaxul, or known as Joe, rounding up your point scorer. As well as running up the bottom, we have Augustin in P11, Luis P12, second Spaniard. We have Kai in P13, Jack AC P14, Drake Dempsey, unfortunate for him, P15, Brain Stew P16. He was looking good, the pole sitter. Didn't get any points coming out here. Eruption in P17, P18 for Yari Santiago. Mick Blurk with P12, best mates. Unfortunate for him, he set a really good qualifying lap in P20 as the last driver. And what a race we had today.
That was amazing. Interviews available for Arias, Dovzan, and Richie. I think we have the winner here already, so I'll be putting him on the booth. We have Angel Arias here on the commentary booth. I think the volume a little bit lower. Don't know how you have it there on your end.
The last laps were so stressful, so stressful. I was literally shaking because in the last laps, sorry, not the last laps, on the second lap, after I overtook to gain the first position, I had an issue with my controller, so the throttle wasn't working at 100%. It was like blinking from 100% to 80% or something like that, and I was losing so much time to Jeffrey on the straights. And I was like, no, 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 please, I don't want to lose this because of a controller issue. No, not like this. I'd rather spawn or something. And then I think it was on the lap 27, I had the big snap on the exit of the first corner because I was accelerating, and then suddenly my controller decided that it was a good idea to give me an 80% of throttle input in the middle of the corner, and and I lose like 7 tenths to the second one. But still,
It was really interesting because that safety car really helped you a lot. Did you expect to have that safety car or to have an option of safety car at the end of your stint, or how was that for you? Did you know that? Well, at the moment when you had that chance, did you know that you were gonna win?
I mean, I was talking to a friend who was watching the stream, and who was telling me all the time that a lot of people were falling in front of me, sorry, behind me. And I was like, okay, there might be a safety car. And then Jared, my teammate, spun and crashed. And he said, no, 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 I'm sorry, I DNF'd you. And I was like, no, thank you. Thank you for the safety car.
Well,
And
it really
definitely
helped you a lot.
that fixed the race.
Those moves at the end, it was really, you had to do it on a clinical way. Uh, Amazing to do it like that. I think no contact, nothing controversy between those moves. How you think you battled there at the last step?
No, I think I had to do a big move on the on the end of the safety car, and then I was a little bit more relaxed with Richie because I knew that the race was there, the race win was definitely there. It was not worth to take risks. I had to wait one more lap, but it definitely was super worth. Um, I dived into Richie on, I think it was turn four, after the second DRS zone, and I think that I've made a very late move, but he respected me, so GG's for him. Sorry, GG's to him. But
Was
I think that
really
all
tight.
the moves were clean.
Yeah, that one was really tight, really late. Well, not really late, but later than probably expected, and he left there the space. So really good racing we saw between both of you. And to finish now, after congratulating you for it's the first win I think, right, on MRL.
Yeah, and also my first podium.
Amazing to say it that way. And any words you want to say to your engineers, to someone, even if it's in Spanish.
Sí, bueno, muchísimas gracias a Rubén, que ha sido el que me ha estado contando todo durante la carrera. Y nada, pues GG, esto va por todos los españoles.
Amazing to hear. Congratulations you again for that
Thank you.
race win, and we saw you on next round.
Okay.
There you go. P1 finisher. Spaniard Arias is there. We can now bring up Jeffrey Ritchie, putting his car into P2. How do you feel after that race?
I think he's muted. I don't know if he is AFK or...
Hello?
There he is.
Hello.
There he is.
Oh, yeah. Slightly disappointed because of the timing of the safety car. Yeah, we had a great plan going. Me and Harlem 1-2 with Brains 2 5-second penalty behind. So it was looking good. Yeah, until the safety car happened. Our first strat would have been to box, but I mean, we would have double stacked and we would have come like P8, 9 in the pack, which would have not been great. So decided to stay out. Yeah, and try to keep the soft runners behind, but I mean, they got by pretty fast. Those tires were insanely fast. So we just tried what we could. I think Harlem got into a small incident as well. It was unfortunate, but yeah, I tried my best to still get as many points as possible.
Yeah, well, that's it was a good race, to be honest. I know that safety cars can cause mystery in the box for these drivers. So we're going into the next round of Saudi Arabia. How do you feel about the new track? Do you think you're going to set your pace pretty well?
Oh, Jeddah, I'm chilling. Jeddah.
Yeah.
There's no ABS advantage, so we're good.
Yeah, controllers are not working that well either, so we'll see. I know you have a lot of practice in there, so we won't expect much from you. So thank you for joining us today. Congratulations on the P2, saying you're Alpine in the second constructor, I believe. So thank you for today. If Bito have anything else to say, then thank you so much.
Really good race, really good managed the strategy between you on Alpine, and well, we hope that you have a really good race next week.
Thank you.
All right, now we have P3 with the photo finish. We have Dovzan coming in saying his car in P3. How do you feel after that race?
After the last lap, honestly, it was a bit frustrating, but in terms of the whole race, like the other laps, it was pretty alright. I didn't expect to have that good pace on a track that I don't like. So yeah, it's a pretty good result.
Yeah, you set your car in a perfect position, especially that photo finish. What was going through your mind on that last few laps?
I mean, I had about 30% DRS in going into the last lap, and from like past experiences, I automatically defended the inside of the turn one, because outside usually never works because of turn two as well. You're given way too little space. So I got a DRS on that straight and I was ahead. Then in turn 10, I don't know what happened, if that was intentional or something, but he hit me and pushed me wide, which killed my momentum basically, and both of them overtook me. I think it was one of the Mercedes as well. So at that point, like, I was really frustrated and I was going full on aggressive mode onto the Mercedes. So I pushed him off a little bit, but I talked to him already, so he was fine with it.
Yeah, well, you put yourself car in there. It was really close finish. I bet your heart was racing. If Beto has any questions to round it up, other than that, thank you so much for me.
Really good racing. I think he managed as well. The energy, I think he was the best managing that one, as he had everything under control. Then a little bit of contact, yeah, as you said, on turn 10. That cost you a place, almost 2 places. You got that one back. But a podium is a podium, and I hope you're happy with that, and hope you have a good race next week as well.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you so much. And there you go. That's tier 1 for you, Bito. How do you feel about that?
To be honest, I can't be more happy with that one. First race competing on this season, and the first race win for my padre, Angel Arias. So that's really good to see. I'm really happy. I'm even shaking now, so that's amazing.
Well, now we know the pace going into the second race. We'll see what these drivers can do in the next one at Jeddah. In the meantime, thank you everyone for watching. America Tier 1 is later on, 3 a.m. CET. So if you would like to watch that, there's definitely some more action coming from these fast drivers. Other than that, thank you so much. Thank you, Bito, for having me. And we'll see you next time, boys. Thank you so much.